everybody, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. Have I got a fun show for you today? I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world. It's the holiday season, and we know that people start to think about romance during the holidays, especially if they're not hooked up with somebody. And a lot of times, the people that are vegan want to find people that are also vegan. So, have I got the show for you? We are doing a vegan dating show today, and I'm going to turn the reins over to the Vegan Cupid. Thanks so much for doing this. What a great idea you had.
Thank you so much, Chef AJ, for having me on your show again. Some of you guys might recognize me. I was on her show back in August, and it was amazing. I had so many wonderful people reaching out to me. And yeah, so I have something really exciting planned for you today. But before that, I just want to kind of introduce myself, talk about who I am and what it is that I do, so that you guys can get to know me. So I'm Karine, that's my real name, but I go by Vegan Cupid, and I am a vegan matchmaker and a dating coach. And I have been helping vegan singles find love for almost 10 years now. And I myself have been an ethical vegan for 15 and a half years. So I absolutely love bringing vegan singles together. That is my true passion. And so I'm always thinking of ways to think outside the box for how I can help my clients, especially during a pandemic, right? It's hard to meet other vegan singles, and a lot of people are not into the online dating thing, right? Because trying to find a vegan partner on there is like trying to find a mythical needle in a haystack. So I try to make it easy, and I do all kinds of things, right? So like what we're doing today, I also do these wonderful Zoom hangouts, also called virtual veg parties. I host 2 to 3 of those per month, and they all have different themes. So last week I did child-free vegans. Next week I'm doing dog lovers. I'm doing a special vegan singles holiday party. So again, the whole idea with these is to connect people together that are all single, vegetarian, or vegan, and are all, into the common theme. So today, I want to tell you a bit about what it is that I do, and I'm going to be featuring 3 of my clients that are going to be, you're going to see their faces in a few minutes, and they're going to tell you what it's been like working with me, because I think it's really important for people to understand what it is that I do and how I can help you, right? And so my signature program is a 10-week program, and it basically consists of a series of videos, weekly exercises, and weekly group coaching calls. And so I really help my clients get to the place where they have an incredible mindset, where they are ready and excited to move forward. They have more confidence, they feel empowered. They have, just an overall better sense of how, what needs to happen in order to be able to find the love of your life. And I'm actually really excited because I have a new program starting in January, and I am partnering with a clinical psychologist who is also a hypnotherapist, who is also single, and who is also vegan. And so he's going to be part of my team. He's going to be on 2 of these calls per month. And then I also have Nadia, an astrologist that I work with. And so we are just like a whole team of people really trying, to give vegan singles as much support as we can to help them on their journey to finding love, because it's not an easy thing, right? And so part of that 10-week program, this is kind of why we're here today, part of the 10-week program. So when my clients finish that program, once they are ready to put themselves out there, I give them opportunities to put themselves out there, right? So this is a perfect example of what we're doing today. And let me tell you, they are being brave. It takes courage to come on a show like this with thousands of people watching, being open, being vulnerable, putting themselves out there, but they're all doing it in the name of love, because that's what you have to do, right? Like, you have to try new things. And so one of my clients that you're going to be meeting, David, he's actually my inspiration for this and this other show that I'm doing in December. I'll tell you about the show first. On December 12th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern time, on the Find Veg Love Facebook page, I am hosting a dating show. Again, very similar to what we're doing today. It's called the Vegan Cupid Show. modern dating in a vegan world. And so my inspiration was from David, who you will meet. He found his first wife via a classified ad in a newspaper. And so if you're a millennial, you probably don't know what I'm even talking about. But for people older, you might remember, like, people would post classified ads in order to find love. So that's how he found his first wife. And then I thought, okay, so it's the 21st century. It's a pandemic. So how can I help my clients, like, even more put themselves out there and find other vegan singles? So that's going to be the show. I'm going to be featuring even more clients, and there's going to be different elements. But today it's basically a mini version of that. So you'll get to meet the clients. You'll get to, hopefully you'll be watching and you'll be like, oh, wow, like, this person sounds really interesting. Like, we have a lot in common. I wonder if there could be something there, right? So if that's you, if you're watching and you want to be considered as a potential match for one of my clients, all you have to do is fill out a profile in my Veg Love Vault. So you go there by findveglove.com/database. You fill out a profile and get in touch with me and say, hey, I saw you on Chef AJ, and I'm really interested in your client. Okay. And maybe you have a friend, or maybe you have a family member, or maybe you know someone that would be a great fit for them. So if that's the case, hit that share button and ask them to look at the video. So again, the big version of that. Oh yes, AJ, you have a question?
I don't want to interrupt, but just at some point,
That's
there's just
okay.
a couple, the questions are going by, and there is a question from Linda. Do you ever have vegans that are 65 to 75 or even older?
Yes, but love has no number. I want to help as many people as I can. And I typically work with people, from their 30s to the mid 50s. That's just what I typically work with, but I work with people of all ages. So again, all you need to do in order to work with me is you have to be committed, you have to be dedicated, you have to want to find love and put in the time and the effort, right? So again, my program is for anyone who is, meets that. Yes?
And Aditi wanted to know, aren't most vegans women?
No. So I know that it seems that way. I know the percentage is higher of vegan women, yes, but there are plenty of wonderful vegan men out there, and I have been able to find them for years and years and years, right? Back in the day, I used to do speed dating events exclusively for vegetarians and vegans, and I did them all over US and Canada, and I was able to get, almost equal numbers or equal numbers or almost close to it of men and women. So they are out there. They are harder to find, but they are out there, I assure you.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So yeah, keep the questions going, you guys.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. And there's not a lot of other people doing what I'm doing, right? I don't know anybody else. And so, there's it's awesome. So that show that I was telling you about, so it's going to be, the pilot is going to be on the Find Veg Love Facebook page, December 12th. And then a couple of days later, it's going to be airing on the Plant-Based Network. So that has like the potential to reach so many people, right? So I'm so excited for my clients who are going to be going on there. And I'm going to be doing this on a monthly basis. So that's kind of my idea, because I want to be featuring different clients every time. And so back in May, I actually did something called the Blind Love Experiment. And that was, again, the same idea. I had a client. There were 3 potential matches. It was different than what we're doing now. But the video was shared like all over Facebook, and there was like over 10,000 views on it. So it was pretty amazing. So again, today the goal is for me to just answer any of questions that you have, regarding vegan dating, love, and relationships. I'm here as a resource to you. My Find Veg Love Facebook group is also another fantastic place to get even more information. I'm super active in my group. I go live every week, and there's lots of content, lots of interaction. So that's another fantastic way to meet other people. And so so today I wanted to bring on 3 of my clients, and I picked them for different reasons. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. But again, so I'm going to ask my clients questions so that you can get to know them. And then if you have any questions for them, feel free to leave them in the comments. And we're just gonna have fun with it. Okay. Yes.
Got two more questions. Ashley says, how many successful matches has she done?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So when I, like I said, I did the speed dating events for many years, and I connected, I think it was like over, I can't even remember now. It's been so long. I was like over like 10,000 matches, I think it was, with the speed dating events. And then I stopped doing the events about 2 years ago, and then I started doing matchmaking, right? And so I was doing exclusively matchmaking for for about a year. And then I transitioned to doing my 10-week program, right? And it was because I saw so many more positive things come out, and people making changes with my programs, right? So the 10-week program is literally teaching you how to become your own matchmaker, because everyone has already inside of them what is needed to find love. They just need help, that little push, right? Whether it's like unblocking, like being able to unblock yourself, like if you have your guard up, or whatever is, whatever is going on. But so I don't have an exact number. All I can tell you is that there's like so many connections made, whether it's in my group, whether it's on a Zoom hangout, whether it's like I'm introducing my clients. I have a client who I worked with last year. He was one of my original one-on-one matchmaking clients. On his first match, he ended up in a relationship with a woman for 6 months. And so that was pretty amazing. A couple of other clients, on their second match, I got it right. So it's amazing. Like, and even in my 10-week program, where people are taking this program to, do all the deep internal work, the self-development, all that good stuff, on more than one occasion, I've had clients meet through my program, and they're now in a romantic relationship. So it's like really amazing.
Great. Just a couple more questions. Do you have clients from Canada? Graham wants to know.
Yeah, so I'm actually based in Ottawa.
That's why you're wearing a coat, huh?
Yes, it's cold.
Yeah, not here.
I know. Yes, I was born and raised in Canada, and I lived in California for about 7 years. So that's actually where I started doing the speed dating events in California. And fun story, at my very first event, there's a couple that met, and they got married a few years later. And then 2 other couples also from San Francisco. And then just the other day, I got an email from someone saying that she went to a speed dating event in San Francisco a couple years ago. She met someone there, and now they're engaged. So I don't know what it is about San Francisco, how all the weddings, actually I have one Portland wedding as well. But so because I did the speed dating events all over USA and Canada, I really have a network all over USA and Canada. So yes.
Well, okay. So the people want to know if there's any place they can see where you've showcased some of the stories, how people can even date during a pandemic. And Bernadette says, how much does this cost? I'm not working. It probably costs the same whether you're working or not, but I'll let you handle those questions.
Yeah. So for stories about about my clients, you can go to findveglove.com. You can click on happy stories. I feature a couple of my different clients there. And also, if you go to on my website, findveglove.com/Calendly, or if you're on there and you see the button that says book a call, that page I actually just redid the other day, and I posted some wonderful testimonials and videos. So I encourage you to check that out. And in terms of the costs, definitely if you're not working and if you don't have a lot of income, it's probably not going to be a good fit, because my programs don't cost just a couple of $100, right? It definitely is an investment, and it's an investment in yourself. And so it does require significant investment. And that's because there's a lot of value, right? This is not a do-it-yourself course. This is very much a program where you are supported and guided and get lots of amazing things. So I would encourage you, for anybody that doesn't quite have the funds right now, it's okay, right? I help out people at all levels, wherever they are. And the best, so my free resources are in my group, right? So the Find Veg Love Facebook group, like I said, I go live every week. I post lots of content, lots of things to, really inspire you and motivate you and just help you think of ways. And then the other option as well is my Zoom Hangouts, right? So those are $39 per ticket. You get to meet, the events range from 20 to 30 people. And so it's a fantastic way to meet singles, as opposed to doing the online dating thing. So those are my more cost-effective options. And again, I want to help out as many people as I can. So that's why I offer that.
Great. Well, we'd love to meet some of your clients.
Yeah, so let's have some fun. So I'm super excited. We are going to start with Marina. And fun fact, Marina found out about me for the first time on your show, Chef AJ, that we did together in August. So it's kind of coming full circle. So I'm really excited. So Marina, if you could please turn on your camera and unmute yourself. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And so, and again, I just want, my clients, I'm going to ask them questions. I just want them to share kind of their experience of what it's like working with me, because again, I can tell you how wonderful it is to work with me. But when you hear from other people who have actually gone through it, that is so much more powerful, right? So Marina, I would love for you to just briefly share what your experience was going through my 10-week program.
Sure. On the 10-week program, there are weekly modules that you work through that are a combination of videos, exercises that you do on a whole variety of topics that lead you through self-discovery and growth. And then there are coaching calls and Facebook private groups that you interact with others within the program. And so the videos and exercise are really content that allow you to dig in and reflect and grow and articulate who you are and what you want for yourself, and really be honest with yourself and get growth. And then the coaching calls and the Facebook groups are, surround you with people that have similarities and differences, but everybody is always supportive and offers their insight and perspective on things. And so you have a well-rounded content and support group.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And so would you say that any of your habits or thoughts around love have changed since doing the program?
I would say that I am more clear. I've articulated for myself clearly what it is that I'm looking for and what I bring to a relationship. So I think instead of having something happen to me, I'm ready to kind of put out in the universe what I want to draw to me. And that became clear over the course of the 10-week program.
I love that. Thank you. And what about specifically regarding like your thoughts about, dating someone who's vegan before we work together? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, they just think that it's not possible to find a vegan partner, right? And a lot of women think there are not a lot of vegan men out there, and they're not. There's a small number. But what were your thoughts like regarding that specific thing before we started working together to now that you've experienced all these opportunities?
Yeah, well, I dated someone who was not vegan, and at the end was fairly supportive. It wasn't a big deal, but at the end of the day, it wasn't in alignment with my values, and so there was always this tug as I'm fixing food, and is somebody going to like it, that type of thing. And there's not a huge group of people that I knew how to get in contact with, especially during the pandemic, to meet people. Even like I joined meetup groups and that type of thing, but it just wasn't. They all went cold when the pandemic happened, and so coming through your group really gave me permission in a lot of ways, and found other people, men and women, that share the same values and align in that way. And it really has reinforced that I believe that this is that finding a vegan partner is the right thing to do, so that I can live in alignment with myself and start off fundamentally on the same page. And your group's really given me a lot of access to different people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So let's get to know you a little better, so that everyone watching can get to know you better. So tell us, a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I live in Columbus, Ohio. As you can tell by the sweater, it's a little cold here. I'm an IT product manager, and I work on creating technology solutions for a company, and those solutions like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, some innovations of that type. It impacts our 280,000 employees, all of our guests and clients that come into to experience our workplace. So I create technology solutions to help people, and particularly during the pandemic, to bridge the gap for collaboration and our social networks as they kind of die off a little bit when we're not in the same space together. So that's what I do, and I find a lot of meaning and value in that, in helping people enjoy their workplace and be more productive and collaborative. I don't have children. I'm an emotionally intelligent, confident person. I'm pretty self-sufficient and secure, and so I like to play with my dogs. I volunteer at rescues and adoption events, and play the cello. I also like to run, bike, hike, those types of things.
That's awesome. And so tell us what kind, what's something that you look for in a partner, and what is something that you're really excited to bring to your relationship?
I look for a secure man, someone who comes to a relationship with a growth mindset instead of a closed mindset. Have to love dogs. It's like, you're not going to understand me if you don't, and that's important. Someone who has and sets goals for themselves and even their relationships and their future, flexible and expresses their feelings. So someone who's emotionally intelligent, but also doesn't take themselves too seriously. So and then likes adventures, likes to go out hiking, finding a trail for the day, seeking out new places that maybe just never been, but equally happy to lounge around on a weekend day or something like that. And then something that I think I bring to a relationship that excites me is I have the courage to be vulnerable in a real relationship that I want to be invested in. I listen to understand, so I think that makes me the first step toward a good communicator. And I bring my awesome dogs, and I always assume positive intent until you give me a reason not to.
That's amazing. And so remember, men must love dogs, not just like dogs, but love dogs. Okay. Marina is an amazing, amazing woman. And she also has a little bit of sarcasm. So you need to be okay with that. And
Yes.
so tell us one totally random thing about yourself. I like to add in fun questions in there.
Yeah, so I try and come up with something new every time I answer this. I'm in your Zoom Hangouts, we divulge this too. So something random that you may not know about me is my first career. I was a high school and university teacher. I taught high school and university.
Wow, I did not know that. And that's what's so fun, is I get to learn something new about you every time. And so, yeah, like you mentioned, you went to one of those, to the Zoom Hangouts, and yeah, so you know how it goes down. But yeah, and do you have like anything else that you want to mention? If there's a man that's watching this, what is it like? Is there anything that you really feel that they need to know, other than must love dogs?
Well, I think a little mystery is a good way to start off. So I'll keep it short and leave it there. And I would love to meet people who want to start off, as friends and see where it goes. It's always nice to connect and build relationships.
That's awesome. Well, I love how open-minded you are. I love your energy. So it's only a matter of time. So Chef AJ, do we have any questions specifically for Marina, or would you like to ask Marina a question? Because I know Chef AJ, you also
Okay, well,
like to
so
play
I'm just going to read,
matchmaker.
Jael says, she sounds highly intelligent. How about going to the local Mensa club? What kind of dogs and how many does she have? And just nice comments on Maya says, this is such a great topic. Do you know of relationship experts? Riz and I like going to workshops. And yeah, this is just, oh gosh, somebody said she might be a good match for Doug Lyle.
Oh,
All the time.
interesting.
We got to get him in your database. He's a tough one. I know, he is a tough one, I'll tell you. Oh, and people are saying, do you offer senior citizens discounts? This isn't Denny's. Oh.
No, unfortunately,
nice comments.
I don't offer discounts. My time and my energy is the same for everyone. But yeah, Marina, you have, is it 3 dogs?
I have 3 dogs. I have a geriatric Newfoundland who is over 13 years old now. And if you know anything about giant breed dogs, that's doing really well. I have a German Shepherd and a Siberian Husky. So I have a dog on every end of the spectrum and one in the middle.
That's awesome. So again, if there's anyone out there that is interested in connecting with Marina, all you gotta do is fill out a profile, and you gotta reach out to me and let me know that you saw this video and that you're interested in connecting with her, okay? And ladies, if you have any men in mind for Marina, please tag them, please share them, share this video with them. And we'll have the chance, we'll go back at the end and we'll all talk again. So thank you so much, Marina, for being here. I know it's a lot, but you're awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, but you never know, because who knows? I mean, this will be seen by people after this, and maybe
exactly.
You just don't know.
You never know. Exactly. All right. So now we're going to bring on David. So David is the wonderful man who I told you also found me by watching the interview we did together. And he's the wonderful man who found his first wife, via the classified ad. So he's been my inspiration, and he's been so amazing to work with. Amazing man. And again, ladies, this is, a testament. There are amazing vegan men out there. Okay. So David, can you please share a little bit about what your experience was with the program?
Well, it's been very eye-opening and informative. Between the combination of the videos and the exercises and the weekly call-ins, all 3, they really make you think of who you are and what you're looking for in a romantic partner. And and like Karen said, it's an investment, and it's an investment that's totally worth it.
Thank you so much for saying that. And so, how have your thoughts and habits changed from before we started working together to after you completed?
Before, I was only looking for women that were like 1 zip code over. And after going through the program, I've realized that love doesn't have a zip code, and now I'm more open to meeting anybody wherever they might live.
I absolutely love that, and that's what I always say. So he stole the words out of my mouth. Is love does not have a zip code. Okay, so the pool of vegan singles is small, so we have to open as many doors as possible by being as open-minded. So that's wonderful, David. And so you definitely experienced a lot of mindset shifts, and your confidence really grew, and it was like so amazing to see that happen every single week, right? And so yeah, it's been a joy. And ladies, again, like I really vouch for my clients. I only take on clients who are really freaking amazing. So that if someone's a client of mine, they're definitely like someone that you want to get to know. So David, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do, what you love, if you have any children.
I live in Sonoma County, which is also known as wine country, just north of San Francisco. I have no human children, but I do have one fur baby that's 18-year-old kitty. Some of my favorite things to do are, I like doing DIY projects. So, I'm always out in the yard doing something around the house. Also, I'm a jeans and t-shirt type of guy, so I'm very relaxed and optimistic about life, and I like the outdoors. So hiking, or like I said, being out in the yard doing something, or something outside is my happy place.
Yep. And you are retired as of about 2 years ago, I believe it is.
Yes, I am. I'm a retired UPS driver of 28 years. And sorry, ladies, I had to turn the uniform back in. Yeah, and I've been retired for the last 2.5 years. So
that's awesome. And so tell us a little bit about what it is that you're looking for in a relationship, and what you bring to a relationship.
I'm looking for someone who is fun, positive, who likes the outdoors, likes animals, whether it's cats or dogs. Who is also a jeans and t-shirt type of person, but also can wear a dress when, if need be. And one that's, willing to grow and be be able to express their emotions and whatnot. What I bring optimism. I don't know. There's quite a few things I like to bring to the relationship. So in general, I just want to find that special someone to be able to share my life with.
That's awesome. And ladies, he also loves to cook. Okay, who does not love a man who can cook? And apparently he can make a really mean lasagna. And did you say you're part Italian? Is that, or you're?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm half Italian, and I worked in an Italian restaurant during my 20s, so I know a little something about Italian cooking.
Yeah, and you've been vegan for a very long time, 18 years, I believe you said.
Yeah. Since 2002.
Yeah, so vegan for a really long time, loves to cook, loves outdoors, really down to earth. Overall great guy, and yes, he's introverted, and yes, he's a little shy, but he's here. It's like so many people would not ever have the courage to do something like all of you are doing, right? So again, I applaud all of you so much for doing it. Back when I was single, I don't know if I would have had the courage to do what you guys are doing. So it's amazing, right? So ladies, if you have, oh yeah, and David, can you tell us one totally random thing about yourself?
Let's see. Well, first of all, yes, before this program, I would probably have never done this. This is totally out of my realm of comfort, and so yeah, just the fact that I'm doing this today is kind of like,
It's amazing, and it is bringing you one step closer to being able to find that special lady, because again, you have to put yourself out there. You have to try new things, and so it's only a matter of time. I know it, David. And ladies, also, David did say, he's a bit shy, but once he gets to know you, he definitely does open up. Okay, so, and that's usually the case with most people as well, right? So if you were interested in potentially, connecting with David, fill out a profile. If you know anybody that would be great for him, please please let them know. And Chef AJ, do we have any questions
somebody
or
made
comments?
a suggestion. He said he's in Sonoma. David, are you anywhere near the True North Health Center? How far would that be from you in Santa Rosa?
About 20 miles.
Well, that's not far. So people are suggesting you go there, and they don't mean to go there to fast, but depending, I don't know what it's like with COVID, but during the regular time, people are allowed to go to True North as guests for meals and for the lectures. Last time I checked, it was like $20 a day, and you would be maybe likely to find a like-minded vegan person there that's also interested in health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, great suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm actually friends with like Kathy Fisher and Katie May, and I guess, yeah, those two, I'm friends with those two, so.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, if it doesn't work out, then maybe David and Marina can just get together.
There are plenty of people out there, trust me. There really are. It's only a matter of time. Doing this kind of thing, it really does bring people out of the woodwork, and for days and weeks to come, right? So do we have any other questions or comments, Chef AJ, for David?
I love the True North suggestion though, because that seems like, very likely to find somebody of like mind there,
That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, David, and we'll get back to you again later. All right, so now we have our final guest of the day. Last but not least, we have Miss L. So you can turn on your camera. Thank you so much for being here. So if you could please share what your experience was with the program.
Yeah, well, first of all, it was sort of like yoga, wherein that once you make the commitment and you decide you're going to do it, you're being intentional about just the practice of it triggers some change in what you're thinking and how you're going about it. And then I think the modules and the videos and sort of the homework and all of that stuff was really interesting. A lot of it was stuff that you'd know about, or you might have read pieces of, but you just had never incorporated all as one, or even really thought of it in terms of relationship stuff, like personal relationship stuff. So there were a lot of, it just made you think, you would do it. And then the other thing is, Marina had mentioned it, the weekly Zoom calls were great, because then you felt like you had a little cohort. It almost felt like a grad school, like you'd get together to study with your grad school buddies or whatever. So I really enjoyed it. And I'm one of, I think, few of your clients I'm not on Facebook, just for a lot of reasons. And so I've been able to still get as much as I could out of this program by doing that, participating in some of these Zoom get-togethers and all of that. But I found the modules really helpful, super interesting, and all kind of coordinated to keep me moving forward in this intention I have.
That's awesome. And so, what were your thoughts before joining the program in turn around love? Because I know that you joined like pretty early on, when this whole crazy COVID thing started happening. And I remember you were saying, you were otherwise very social before and you were finding it hard. But not only that, but it was the vegan thing, right? You never even, I remember you saying that you never knew that it was even a possibility. So I'd love for you to talk a bit more about that, because you're not alone. So many people, that's how they feel, right?
Yeah. Well, it was really interesting, because I think the thing that I find so interesting, so I was vegetarian for probably 13 years, but it wasn't ethical. It was just like, I don't really like meat. So, and then I was influenced by people that were in my friend network, and I live in Seattle, or in my friend network, who were vegan. And I was like, they're like some of the coolest people I know. What is it? And so then that sort of, by meeting them, I became more intentional. I became vegan. And then only within the last year, I think we're going to talk about this later, but I'm a climate action person who really works deeply now in food systems transition. So then I got into work that was really involved in plant-based. And then I was like, okay, it's finally time for me to meet somebody. And I was just like, oh my God. When I came across the story about you, I think in Veg News, I was like, it didn't even occur to me to find somebody to help me find a vegan man, because why do you think all my friends, that I've met in Seattle who I really love are vegans? Well, maybe that's what I should aim for. So I don't know what, I just wasn't thinking. And I have to say that I've just never been somebody who's liked any of those apps. I just don't. And so I just sort of exist oh, there goes a dog barking. I just sort of exist without, just thinking that it was kind of hopeless. And so this opened that up for me.
Right. And you were so much fun on those weekly calls because you were like the voice of reason. You were like telling it like it is. And so, and I love that, right? And that's like part of the fun with these calls is that you get all kinds of different personalities. There's men, there's women, people from all different backgrounds, experiences, and everybody brings something different to the table. And so, Miss L was like the, what did we refer to you again? Like the mom or something?
Well,
Or
I'm very factual. I've had people call me in my past, and frankly, in like grad school and things like that, Miss Matter of Fact. And so I'm the reality check. And I think that the thing that was so fun with the calls that we had was there were a variety of ages. And I was always like, let me tell you, this is what it's going to be, And so I don't know if I mean, mom, maybe, right. But it's like, I have some wisdom. I figured this out, So it was really fun to be on those phone calls with such a variety of people.
Yeah, and I mean those calls are like everyone that's part of the program is all single, vegetarian, or vegan, and all deeply committed to finding love, right? And so friendships were formed through this program, and romances and romantic relationships, like I talked about earlier, and so. You never know, right? And again, there's just a feeling of being able to connect with people on such a deep level that totally get you. And there's just like, that's why I feel like, as vegetarians and vegans, like we bond so well together because we're so like-minded, we're on the same wavelength. And that's why for a lot of people, dating a partner who also shares those same morals, values, and ethics is really important, right? And again, it works for some people to date someone who's not a meat eater. I'm totally not judgmental. I support people on whatever journey they are on. But there's just something really special, right? Relationships are so complicated to start. And then throwing the vegan thing, that's even harder, right? And so, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like, what you do? You are also a must love dogs kind of woman.
Yes, I was nodding my head to Marina. I don't have 3, but that could be a goal for me. I have 2, and they're like 40-pound dogs, and they are and it's interesting because I come from a very happy family with siblings and parents that are luckily still around, but I just never wanted to have kids. So I don't have kids. I have these dogs. I've had dogs for, I don't know, 20 years at this point, and it's just heaven. I'm someone who's been in the communications world for a really long time. I think I said I live in Seattle now, but my work is really climate action, which goes really well with veganism. And now that I'm in this food systems thing, and I think the other thing to know about me is that I have been a person who bikes for transportation. So the way I get around town has been a bike. And now I have an e-bike and a bike for a very long time. So I got into this biking as transportation years ago when I first lived in Portland, Oregon. And that also has become something that I do work around. So it's just sort of who I am. I live that kind of lifestyle. And there's a lot of talk these days about the mayor of Paris putting into place this idea of a 15-minute city. And I think that sort of speaks to this lifestyle that I have, which is I love my community, my neighborhood. I ride my bike. I just sort of love where I live and exist in this lovely kind of 15-minute village version of Seattle. And I love it. The other thing that's really probably good to know about me is that I get great joy out of a independent community radio station that I'm really involved in that actually streams globally. And so I've found music and joy and met the most amazingly interesting people of all ages, ranges, everything that you've said, colors, stripes, etc., through my involvement with this music community, many of whom kind of are involved with the station I've met who are vegan. So interestingly, I think ultimately maybe I'll meet someone that way, but it's been through this program, right, that I've opened up to be like, wait a second, where am I meeting the most great people? It's there. So again, to opening up your head and getting intentional and realizing those are my people. Let me dig in there a little bit more.
That's awesome. And so tell us a bit about what kind of partner you're looking for.
I am really looking for, I think and I think people get to a certain point in their life and they realize I'm really looking for a companion. I guess I've had this really interesting life and I do great work and I'm super content. And so it's just this realization that if I can find a companion who is vegan, who kind of shares some of my values, that person will then help me meet a whole other group of people and expand my view. I'm looking for somebody who is self-aware, who's gone through their years and kind of figured themselves out. Usually if they're people that are in a program like this, they probably have. And I really like people with kind of a dry sense of humor. And also I like people, I'm quite a reader. I think one of the things that we go through in the modules is, what is your love language? And mine is words. So words of affirmation. And so I am a reader and a podcast listener and an information gatherer, because that actually is even part of my work. So I'm constantly reading news, listening to podcasts, doing all of that, or in complete and utter silence, walking the dogs, or listening to this music station. So that's what I do. So it's really a companionship and an expanding, and somebody who has also gotten to the point where they're pretty content and there's a lot to just really find joy in their life. And so that we could share that. I think that would be really great.
That's awesome. And what's one thing that you're really, excited to bring to the table in a relationship?
I think joy. I think I have a lot of enthusiasm and joy in all this work that I do. And I'm constantly, people that I work with and people that I come across in my volunteer work and all that are just like, every time you're in the room, I just get a little dose of energy. And it's just because I have a lot of joy in the stuff that I do. And I think people are surprised by that, but it flows really naturally. And so I would love to contribute that in a relationship.
That's amazing. I love that. And you really attract the energy that you're putting out there. Right. And so that's why you want to spread positivity. You want to just try to be as positive as you can. And so, I love your energy. And so tell us one totally random thing about yourself.
Oh, this one's always so hard for me because I think that they're all so boring. And I may have brought this one up before, but my favorite job ever, and I would include that now just because it was so straightforward, is that I worked for like 2.5 years for a small a fine furniture shop in Portland, Oregon, in the middle of a district now that's all shops and whatever, but it used to just be like the brewery and a wood shop and a garage. And it was my favorite job ever because I could ride my bike down there and it was just me and a bunch of guys who all seemed like my brothers. And while I was there, they would help me learn to make furniture or to get comfortable with saws. But also I was working with really high-end designers. And I was also sort of, the same thing, giving a reality check and going, come on, guys, to all my buddies that I worked with. It was just like, it was like being at summer camp and getting paid for it. And it wasn't the most high paid job or whatever, but it was just this kind of perfect existence. If I could exist like that and not need more intellectually or not need more money in my life, I would have kept that job forever.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for being here. Chef AJ, do we have any questions?
Yeah, somebody named Sharon asked, do you listen to the Beat Your Jeans podcast?
No, I do not.
Maybe she thinks that would be something up your alley.
Okay.
I don't know. Just based on what you're saying. And Aditi made a good comment that it sounds like your program is more of like a journey of maybe self-love and self-discovery, and finding love is just a side effect.
Yes. Yeah. So that's exactly it, and more, right? So at the end of the program, once you've gone on this whole journey and you get to this amazing place, I help you put yourself out there. So I create opportunities for you to find love with my help, right? So I create a video for all of my clients. It's a profile video. So very similar to what we're doing here. And then I blast it out across all my social media channels, my website, my email. And I put it out there to the universe, right? Again, kind of what we're doing today. And then my clients go on the Zoom hangouts that we referred to. And if they see someone that they like, they tell me, and then I reach out to them, and then I see if there's potential there, right? So I help my clients. I'm there for them, and I'm giving them these amazing opportunities to find love. So it's a really well-rounded program with amazing opportunities. So thank you so much, Michelle, for being here.
That is so cool.
Do we have
everybody's saying that all three of these people just seem like extraordinary people. So
yeah, I am so blessed for working with amazing people. Like I love my job. I love being able to bring, more love and joy in this world. So And like I mentioned before, I have a new program that's starting in January, right? And so I only take on 10 clients at a time. I currently only have 7 spots left. I'm sure they will be all gone before the end of the year. So seriously, don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. If you're watching this, I'm really hoping that you've been inspired by listening to my clients' experiences of going through the program and what it's done for them and the positive things that it's done for them. And again, if you want to be considered as a potential match for them or my other clients, because I have a bunch of other clients as well, right? Fill out a profile, get in that database and see what happens, right? And so other opportunities, again, like I mentioned, was the Facebook group. So the Find Veg Love Facebook group, lots of really amazing people there, lots of great conversations. And it's not your typical vegan group where there's like shaming or people like, all this drama. There's none of that in my group, none of that. And so it's just all love and positivity and lots of great stuff. And then remember that I have that the monthly new dating show that I'm going to be starting, and that's another perk of being my client, right? So when you go through my 10-week program, you will have the opportunity to go on that show. And if you're thinking, oh geez, like that's something I could never do, well, look, be inspired by these people, right? They've done it. And yes, it's scary, and but sometimes you gotta do scary things, right? So yeah, and again, anybody that's watching, if you're feeling discouraged, if you've done the online dating thing, if it just hasn't worked for you, if you haven't been able to meet people, if you're really struggling with something that's blocking you, that's preventing you from being able to move forward, just know that you are not doomed. Okay, as soon as you make the conscious decision to want to change things will change, right? So if you're ready and you are willing to put in the time and the effort, things can absolutely change for the better. So you just have to want it, right?
Absolutely. Your program sounds so great, but you have to be single, right? You don't do anything for people that are married that are just trying to have better relationships or anything like that?
Not yet, but it's funny you mentioned that, Chef AJ, because it really is like, I really my vision has always been to help people in all stages of relationships, because relationships are freaking hard no matter what stage you're at, right? So, maybe down the road, I'll start creating programs for, people who are already in relationships. It's hard. And, I really like to use my personal journey of, being in a relationship for 15 years, getting back on the dating market, doing the online dating thing, really struggling and doing the deep internal work myself and the self-reflection and all that amazing stuff, and being able to find love again. I've been in a relationship for 2.5 years now, and it's like we have an amazing relationship, and we have an amazing relationship because what we both bring to the table, and how we were before we entered the relationship. And again, that's why it's so important to only really start meeting people when you are truly ready, right? Because if you're not ready and you have stuff going on, you're just going to end up attracting the wrong kind of partner, right? So
wow. Well, this has been a lot of fun. So you know what? If the 3 today get hooked up, maybe they can come back on as like, hey, I told you it worked.
Yes, I would love that. So again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. You can find me on Facebook. You can book a call with me, send me an email, whatever it is. I know it's hard to make that first initial jump, but I am there for you, and I would love to help you. So get in touch with me. And Chef AJ, thank you so much again for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, this was a lot of fun. Catherine says, do you have a lot of Canadian clients?
Yeah, like I said, I have people all over Canada and US.
Yeah, and the call is free though, right? Because people are saying, well, why not just say the price? She did say that it is a significant investment because she takes on so few people, but the call to talk to you is free if they're more interested, right?
Yeah, so there's different programs, right? I have an 8-week program, I have a 10-week program, and the price varies depending on what package you get. It depends on, the payment plan that you're on. So it's not just one price, right? So that's why I don't say a price. And also the price is a bit irrelevant at the beginning because we need to make sure that this is a good fit for you, right? So I only take on clients who I truly feel that I can help and are ready for this. So I'm super honest, right? And I can only work with a handful of people at a time. So that's why I am selective, and I want it to be a good fit on both sides, right? So yes, it is a significant investment. We're talking about 4 figures. It's not just a couple of $100s. So again, if you're not in that position, it's okay. I totally understand. And that's why I have my group, right? My group is totally free. And I have those wonderful Zoom hangouts that you can join and meet amazing people. So I really have something for everyone.
That is great. Well, thank you for the work you do. I think it's so much fun. And thanks to all the lovely people that came on. It was a pleasure getting to know them as well. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. We have a very special episode tomorrow. I'm calling it Small Business Sunday, where I'm going to go over all the Black Friday, I don't know if it's Black Friday anymore, but all the holiday specials that all the wonderful vegan vendors have. So please make sure you come an hour earlier at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Good luck to everyone in finding love. And thank you, Vegan Cupid. Take care.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.